Hello, this is Ahmed nsaif, medical instrumental engineer. Today we're going to go for fast illustration for the nervous system, and here we're going to go for this video illustration. Let's start. So, the mighty nervous system is so important, therefore we took the nervous system as an example for illustration. So let's go with this video and let's know what is the information about the nervous system. So let's start with that. A great and mighty nervous system is the brain is the most of us is called of what makes us the organs is unique is that within the lies ability to the humans to know oneself to the futures, distinguished with the cells human, the rest of creation and ability to know the consciousness of intelligence. To begin, let's go and look up for the primary function of the nervous system. The basic purpose of the coordinates all the activities of the body, enables the body to respond to the adapt of to the changes that occur inside and outside the body. Now, the nervous system is actually split into two parts: central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Well, explore the peripheral later, but first let's look at the central nervous system. And the central nervous system is made up of two major structures: the brain and the spinal cord. So as the most people know, the brain is found with a cranium or skull, and there are six of main sections among other structures within it. These six sections are the cerebrum and cribrium and this fibrium and the membrane. So the membrane bones is the medulla and oblongata. That the first section is the cerebrum, and the largest section is divided into two major hemispheres with the right and left hemispheres, with the cribrium and the further divided into frontal and parietal and temporal, and the occipital. For lastly, the frontal lobe is primarily responsible for the reasoning and thought, and parietal is primarily responsible for the integrating sensory information, and the temporal is primarily responsible for the processing auditory information from the ears, and the occipital is primarily responsible for the processing visual information and from the eyes. And the second section of the brain is cerebrum, in this section is located in the back and is the head below the cerebrum and above. The first curvature for the neck is responsible for the muscles coordinates, be balance for posture and muscle tone. So the distinguished and section is found between the cerebrum and the main brain. It contains two structures: the thalamus and the hypothalamus. The thalamus behaves much like realizations as direct sensory impulses to the cerebrum, and the hypothalamus is controlled or regulates autonomous nervous systems function at temperature, appetite, water, and balances the sleep, and at the same time blood vessels constructions and in the dilations. The hypothalamus also plays a role in emotions such as sugar, fear, pleasure, pain, and also the affection and the resent things. So, the main brain section is located between the cerebrum and the top of the brain stream, and it's responsible for the serotonin eye and auditory reflexes. So the pawn is located between the midbrain and the brain stem, which is the pituitary gland, and is responsible for the certain reflex actions as the chewing, tasting, and saliva. And we have the production in the last section. And the medulla is oblongata. It's the lowest part of the brain stream, and it connects the spinal cord and responsible for the regulating heart and blood vessels function digestion. So the respiration and swallowing is a coughing, also the same time sneezing and blood pressure, as we can see in this sections. So it's the center for the respiratory system. Then we have covered this brain. Let's take a look for the other half of the central nervous system, the spinal cord. So the spinal cord is linked between the brain and the nervous and the rest of the body. Spinal cord is divided into two different regions: the curvature, thoracic, lumbar, and also the ferret and infrared spinal nervous, which is merged from the peripheral nervous system, and the deferred spinal nerves are responsible for carrying information from the body to the brain. So, and at the same time, and the efferent spinal nerves are responsible for carrying information from the brain to the body. Now, it's within the elaborate system with the nervous system. They are coordinates together as a system that regulates function at the central nervous system, which we can see in the photo. So, which is like a major components of the brain. The spinal cord is also the system known as the peripheral nervous system, as subdivided into two smaller systems: the somatic and autonomic, or autonomic, at the same time. And the nervous system, somatic, responsible for carrying motor sensory information both from to central nervous system. This system is made up of nerves that connect the skin sensory organs in all skeletal muscle system, and the somatic system is also responsible for the nearly all voluntary muscles movement at the end from processing sensory information that arrives from external stimulating into like including hearing, touch, and sight structure that allows the communication to happen between the nervous system. And at the same time, nervous system known as the difference from sensory nervous organs and efferent motor nervous. Now difference is simply means conducting the inward, and effort means conducting outward of inside the spinal cord. So the spinal nervous is different from nerves that take information, the nervous to the central nervous system, are the different nervous to take information from the central nervous system to the muscles, fibers through the body. Fibers through the body, and the automatic nervous system is further divided into sympathetic and system and parasympathetic nervous system. So two systems. In material of the survival, have you have ever had to the fight to the fight or response to danger in the sympathetic nervous system up in the body where confronted or confused marine in danger to either to defend yourself, to escape to the threat of the parasympathetic nervous system. So response for the danger, whether the real or imagined. So the reaction of the spinal cord inside this nervous system gonna be in the parasympathetic, brings all the systems of the body back to the normal now. So this is the information inside the body about the spinal cord and how is the body is exactly works inside it. So let's have a look. For the point, you should have a basic understanding of the nervous system, but let's do a quick recap for the basic purposes of the nervous system. It's to coordinate all the activities of the body. It enables the body to respond and adapt to changes, occurs both inside and outside the body. The two major parts the nervous system are central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Hence, the central nervous system is also divided into two major structures: the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is found with the skull or cranium. It's made up of six main sections. These sections, and probably is very important as in totally as we mentioned. So founded with the skull or cranium, and totally these sections are six: the cranium and meninbrium and diaphragm, and also the midbrain and pons, hence the oblongata. So the other half of the central nervous system is the spinal cord, and the spinal cord is linked between the brain and the nervous the rest of your body. So the spinal cord is divided into four different regions: the curvature, thoracic, lumbar, and we have the thoracic region lumbar, and also differs from the efforts of the spinal cord nervous, which is mirrored to from of a peripheral nervous system, which is now we know the brain is a spinal cord primarily make up the central nervous system, and we can have a look totally on the body that is so essentially the nervous system outside of the brain through the spinal cord, and it connects together. So it has like thousands of connection neurologists inside the body through the somatic and parasympathetic and automatic. Thanks for watching. I wish that everybody have get the benefit, and here we can come for our next videos.